Welcome to another weekly edition of the Best Way to Smoke News with Serpo Jr.
Big J.
And stepping right on into it. New York governor unveiled a marijuana business product verification tool on Tuesday with plans to post a QR code on licensed cannabis retailers and a universal symbol for authorized cannabis products. Meanwhile, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, part of the Democratic Party, held a press conference to tout enforcement actions against unlicensed businesses selling illegal products. And it's like the whole thing is like it's time that unlicensed stores stop selling illegal products and comply with the law, Adams said, taunting the fact that the city has seized 100,000 illegal products with a value of about $4 million. The cannabis industry is a budding economy. We want to make sure that we get it right. So it's like, as far as like, over there in New York, it seems like things is really on the up and up as far as the legalization and everything for New York. And it's seeming as if like they want to get everything like pretty much in line. So if you're a store, you got your little your licenses or whatever, it appears as if like they cracking down on the products that comes through your store. So it's like you gotta have an inventory. This is just me thinking and reading this stuff. You got to have an inventory of where you got your products from. Because if you go into the black market to get your products for a cheaper price, and then you coming up inside, I guess, putting it out inside of your store is unaccounted for products. So you in a unlicensed place, and at the same time you selling illegal products. So they just want to get everything in proper perspective. And if that's really is truly the case, like if New York, y'all get y'all stuff together, the cannabis industry is going to boom.
Yep. And they also, putting it on the buildings, they're gonna have something that's gonna where when you go and before you go into the building, you can see and recognize that this is a legal place.
Hmm.
So that's how they moving. Moving on. Most states will legalize psychedelics by 2037. Analysts published by American Medical Association predicts a majority of states will legalize psychedelics by 2037, according to a new analyst published published in an American Medical Association journal that's based on a statistical model of the state's level marijuana legalization movement. Psychedelics reform have been advancing in rapid patchwork fashion in the US. And while the decriminalization movement started in more liberal states, psychedelic drugs reform is becoming a bipartisan issue. The study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, Fresh chart on Wednesday found researchers at Washington University in St. Louis compelled to analyze data on psychedelic legislation that's been introduced and enacted in cities and states legislations across the country, as well as ballot incentives on the issue from 2019 to 2022. So I know what Oregon, they legalized like psychedelics and a whole bunch of other shit though. So it's a lot of states that's already, trending in that direction. And I know California was trying to get it going though, but it was a setback from that
Yeah.
happening. But because they say it's a lot of benefits for people with post traumatic stress and all that kind of shit though. So man, just keep doing research on it, and maybe it'll get there.
I
I ain't
believe
got
so.
nothing against it. Moving on.
Cannabis companies in California have lost millions due to poor regulations. California's new bill could change that. When PSI Labs started testing cannabis for THC levels and pesticides in 2015, it entered into an unregulated industry that would soon grapple with the effects of legalization and perhaps more troubling was prone to sloppy testing practices that gave varying results on potency and toxicity levels. A client comes to you, they don't like the numbers that they see, said Ben Roseman, co-founder of the Michigan-based PSI Labs, which expanded into California earlier this year. And they're like, I can find another lab who's going to give me the numbers I like or I don't like that
Mm.
you failed me. And now there's another lab that's going to give me a pass. What Roseman is referring to is the potency rating on marijuana. The higher the rating, the more powerful the drug. A lot of folks sort of testing as marketing, not just quality control, and they want to see the highest potency possible, Roseman added. Or they just test purely to drive their product to the market alone. So pretty much what they saying is right here. It's like they go in a certain lab. It's like once they start having these certain THC levels and things of such that go to a lab, oh, this potency is too high. They'll try to like undercut the testing lab. Be like, nah, I don't like that number. You can't make this number be right here, so I can go ahead and just pass. No, I can't do this. So all right, forget you then. I'm finna go to Johnny up the street. He gonna give me the test the numbers that I want. So what this is doing, it's like they putting out a new bill here in California that's going to change that. You know what I'm saying? So the testing of these products is going to be like all in accordance. It's going to be just one testing type thing. Is what I'm hinting. Is what I'm getting. This is what
Yep, you
Serpo
right.
Jr. is receiving.
Yeah.
It's going to be one form of testing. So that way, it's not this form, or that form that's coming up with different numbers. They trying to get it all. You know what I'm saying in one wide.
One watt. Yep. Moving on. Krispy Kreme is paying to keep weed illegal. Big Donut. Big Donut is teaming up with the NFL, Big Pharma, and Methodist Church to defeat legalization in Congress. Follow the money. It's the best known in journalism, and for a good reason. People often lie, but money trail always gives it to you straight. Just ask the Community Anti-Drug Coalition of America, which recently deleted a list of their major donors from their website. We emailed CADCA, a national anti-drug organization based in Virginia, to ask why they do such a thing, but they failed to respond. The answer anyway seems fairly obvious. They don't want you to know who puts up the cash to keep cannabis illegal. Money talks, but donors don't want to talk about it. Back in July, the dog journalist at Marijuana Moment first reported that CA CADCA, I'm gonna say CADCA, was actively lobbying against the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act. That's the bill that we always talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The bill, sponsored by the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat out of New York, that would federally legalize cannabis. So it's a lot of businesses out there that really don't want to see it, see weed legal. And a lot of these companies, you'll be surprised, are like funded in some kind of way by big pharma, and a lot of it's a lot of sister companies and shit like that that don't want to see this. So I'm pretty sure it's a lot of them that's banding together to try to put a stop to this. I'm surprised to see the NFL with so many NFL players that get hurt and kind of use that as a form of rehabilitation and shit.
Yeah, and that's kind of crazy to me. It's like some of it you expect. You wouldn't expect any type of churchgoer to actually really be with it. You know, in the NFL, like you say, that is like a surprise because it's like you got some NFL players and even sports players like all across our, the sports that we have. They get hurt. You go through your medical practices or procedures, whatever it may be, and they give you medication that may cause you to the develop some sort of addiction. And they have like research now, and it's like once it get legalized, they're gonna extend the research that would like negate all of that stuff. Like you can have a CBD product or something with cannabis or whatever it may be that would treat that without the extra side effects.
Yep.
So
And
this is kind of crazy.
yeah, and then just think Krispy Kreme donuts. Shit, you want a motherfucker smoking weed because they gonna come buy more donuts though. But hey, moving on.
I ain't getting no Krispy Kreme.
Man.
UCLA said its pot research was independent, but hid that big cannabis was paying some of the bills. When UCLA started its cannabis research initiative 5 years ago, the university hailed the undertaking as one of the first academic programs in the world dedicated to studying the health impacts of pot. Legalization was quickly taking hold around the country, and the cannabis industry was attempting to transform the plant's image from an illicit substance that gets you high to a health and wellness product. The Times asked UCLA officials whether the university accepted donations from the industry to support the program. They said no. However, documents obtained by the newspaper eventually released by UCLA under the California Public Records Act showed that cannabis companies and investors provided at least some of the early financial support, writing checks for tens of thousands of dollars in donations and assisting the fundraising events. Now, this right here, it's like I don't see nothing really wrong with that. It's like at the time, like people like really looked down on this, So it's like they was doing their research. They probably wanted to continue their research, and this is what I guess they call like a little white lie, you know. But it's like now that we getting to the point to where it's like it's going to get legalized, and it's like it's going to be funding for research, so they wouldn't have to hide this, and it's like just because you have like people that's in the cannabis industry, of course they are for the research of this. We understand that we do this shit to probably for recreational reasons, but you guys are doing this for health and wellness reasons. So why not like help donate and
To see
find
what
it,
it can do. Yeah.
so you putting this article out, all right, hey, you trying no big biggie, because it's like you look bad upon it at this time, but you have a institution, a school that's like doing good research on it. Now, as we get to the point to where it's like you don't have to hide your research, you don't have to hide your research findings.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's gonna all change. UCLA, keep doing your stuff. Don't feel bad because
Keep
information
working.
act that
Yep.
came out and said like, yeah, we didn't got some money from the cannabis industry.
Yep.
Yeah, so what?
Yep.
That's the weekly news. Sir Pope Jr.
Big J.